Alright, let's get this show on the road. Let's see if everything is working fine first, and see what we can do. Alright, so yeah, for this episode, I kind of just want to do something with these props. So these are for Bucky, the character that we've been working with for a minute now. Kind of like this really fun Southern type character. This is the concept art for people who haven't seen him yet. And so his character is finished, and I will be releasing a Udemy tutorial on his whole character design and actually these props too. But I wanted to do a few freebies and everything for like prop design, because I think that would be like really fun for the just for YouTube to see and everything, and you guys. So I basically have made this banjo, which is this banjo right here in the concept art, and I made a shotgun as well. So here's the banjo and here's the shotgun so far. Still have a lot of work to do with them on them and everything, but I basically have the blockouts finished and basics done and everything. So like this is the partially what we have and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and post this online real quick and kind of just see if we can get some viewers real quick. Alright. And let's join the chat. Okay. 3D. Alright, cool. And alright, so let's get this going. So yeah, basically I'm trying to make these props a little bit more stylized. And what I mean by that is right now they are a little too like the actual thing. So I use this as reference for the banjo, and I did inflate kind of the head of it and everything a little bit, but I really want to warp it to make it feel more caricaturized. I think that would be a little bit more fun and show out a little bit better for the kind of game it is and stuff. So let me go ahead and kind of think about like what I am planning on doing. So I do want to go ahead and make the head a little bit bigger. Maybe make this the main part of the neck also bigger, like something like this maybe. So I could probably use the lattice tool for something like this, and not just the silhouette that we want to work with, but I also want to work with the high poly as well. So let's see. Alright, so right now I have the tune pieces, and turn on my symmetry, which I think is the, I want to say Z-axis, maybe X-axis? Okay, I guess it's X. Alright, yeah. And then basically I'm going to give them a little bit more, maybe I shouldn't have done that actually. Off, so it's more centered. There we go, just a little bit more flair. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, yeah, just have them peek out a little bit more. And then, let's see. So this is how I constructed the barrel. I kind of just had the these two cylinder pieces and everything. I could have something that like blocks in the middle of it so you can't see straight through the barrel. But right now, I don't have that at the moment. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, man. I am just working on Bucky's props at the moment, so... how are you in the night, man? It's been a minute. I decided I want to do some streaming for the props since I've finished Bucky and stuff. So yeah, I'm just basically trying to caricaturize the props that I have on him, which is the banjo and the shotgun at the moment. So I think one thing that I want to do is that stylized stuff in general should probably not be as like small detail complex. So I think what I want to do is probably delete every other one of these to kind of help it just read better and cleaner and smaller, with like maybe like them being a little bit more big and shapely and everything. Been doing good, just getting ready to sleep soon, work tomorrow. Yeah, I also have work tomorrow. I'm just being goof. Just trying to get some more stuff done. I hate that we've lost an hour. That's super annoying. Doesn't feel like it should be this late. That bothers me. Let's see. Okay, that is every other one. I actually kind of want to do it the other way, so we have two on the bottom right here. I think that would look better. Then I can make these other ones larger. Okay. That should be good. Alright, so yeah, I'm basically going to bring these into ZBrush here soon. I just wanted to kind of fix these up a little bit. So I'm making... maybe I'll throw an Inflate on these or something. Let's see here. What do we have? Yeah, I want to get into ZBrush as soon as possible. But yeah, basically these are the some of the big pieces, and I want to add some fun high poly detail into them. I'll go ahead and make these a little bit bigger. I'm not sure what to do with the strings just yet, so I'm not going to play with the strings yet. No pun intended there. Raise this up a little bit. Okay. So I like how I had these now, where it's basically like they kind of have this blunderbuss kind of feel. I'm gonna go ahead and add another chop to this. Maybe right around, say here. Okay. Yeah. So I think for the barrel, it probably should actually collapse right here. So yeah, that should ban daylight savings. It's stupid. Super annoying. So how I would kind of do this is I would have just a line next to a line. So I have my taper line, and then I have my cap line. So something like here. I know this is not as entertaining as character design, but I'm trying to finish this off. Alright, so basically, yeah, I collapsed this as my cap, and now I'm going to go ahead and merge my verts. Merge vertices. I'm going to do center, actually. Where's the center? There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and collapse this cap right here. There we go, that's what I want to see. Alright, and I think I just passed this last one, so there we go. I want to do it like this. And then I want to make this a little smaller like this, so I'm going to taper it in. Alright, cool. That's what I want. So actually, instead of making it over here, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I should be able to delete it. There we go. For some reason I had like a ton of duplicates or something. I don't know what that's about. Alright, cool. So yeah, now I can go ahead and do my... I'm going to do my split, actually. So I'm going to do my split. So just this, and then this can wait for a minute. It's like that's just something like right here. Mesh, mirror. Oh, not close enough. Got my verts. Face. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do. Okay, and there. Alright, now I should be able to mirror it, and the vertices will snap. So, there we go. Let's check it. It does. Perfect. Now I can delete this edge. Oh, actually, control. There we go. That gets rid of the vertices too. Cool. Alright, so now that I have that, I can go ahead and just mirror this over. Mesh, mirror. And now I have my other barrel. Okay. Oh, it didn't copy over the proper barrel, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and collapse this one again. So, I can make this inner loop. So basically what I'm doing is I've created two inner loops, and I'm just collapsing this middle one. See that? This center one I'm collapsing. I'm going to vertice mode, and then select them all, and then do the merge vertices, merge the center. Okay. Now I'm basically going to grab this whole edge by double clicking on these vertices, and then I'm going to go and flatten it using the scale tool. Okay. Now that that's done, I need to make sure that's not overlapping one of the other edges, which I think it was. Alright, cool. I think that's looking correct. Just make sure I can basically just delete a few of these faces. Make sure it's looking good. Alright, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So, and with this, I can bring this closer if I want to, but not really necessary. So I can bring this in closer to this tapered feel, like that. There we go. Okay, so now it basically collapsed on both sides of the barrel. And so I can basically make this black when I'm texturing it, and it'll just feel like it's like down the barrel a little bit. Okay. There we go, and then now I can save this for ZBrush if I want to, or I can just texture it in Painter as well. So, let's go ahead and mesh mirror. All right, yeah, and so for these, let's see. Yeah, I could really keep these pieces separate. It's not a big deal. So I can keep these separate. And let's see. I think I just want to focus on making it more stylized looking. So like, maybe I'll have that bigger, and I'll push this out a little bit. I want this to feel a bit wider, like that. That feel kind of like a gradients into that width right here. Like that feel better. All right, so I'm gonna bring my tuning pick pieces and everything back into their hole areas and stuff. Make sure they all fit in. Okay, they're fine. All right, and so for these guys, I can go ahead and do like a cut. And then maybe just play with the size of them, so like my vertice mode, and maybe bring this up a little bit, scale it, and just play with the size and kind of the shape of like what they're doing and stuff. I already reduced them in half, so now I'm just kind of making them a little more fun and stylized. That's basically all I'm doing right now. I'm not going to worry about having holes in the main part of this because I can just have that in texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make it a little bit wonky. These are almost like nails, right? These are like very bootleg kind of things. Trying to make this freaking bootleg banjo. But it reads like a banjo. That's the main thing. Is it's supposed to read like a banjo with a shape, but really kind of push that stylized kind of aesthetic and everything by having like some fun shape language and stuff. They don't always have to be like kind of wide like this, but I do like that look because it really does stand out. I have auto saves every like I think 15 minutes because I keep on forgetting not to save like a dummy, but. Save myself some heartache. I've done autosaves. Bring these up a little bit, like this, kind of like a bottleneck right here at the hole, and then kind of make them a little bit weird and wobble to one side or something. Means I can actually delete this edge right here. Do Control Delete, so it deletes the vertices as well. Okay, just kind of have some fun with these shapes. That's all I'm doing at the moment. I can bring it into ZBrush if I want to, or I can just honestly retopologize it. And but yeah, like this kind of prop, I don't feel like needs a lot of ZBrush action because of how hard surface it is and stuff. If I was gonna add anything, it'd be like damage to it. It'd be like some kind of prop damage, like scars or. Make like the neck a little bit more like planed out and stuff. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for watching. I'm just making some props for Bucky. So let's see. So I'm kind of angling it, rotating it, scaling it, Just kind of having some fun with the shapes, bringing up the shape language. This banjo. Banjo. And in a minute, I can actually add Bucky in the scene and just test the scaling out. I can make one of them small if I wanted to, actually, like this. Just kind of have it be like a little bit warped or something. I kind of like them big. Think that they feel better being like larger and twisted, and they just kind of read easier. And then I think I want to have them like tapered, so like, whoop, I think I grabbed it back face. I did. Whoops, the daisies. There we are. I did it. Woo, I did it. All right, so go ahead and do that with all of these. So yeah, I'm just kind of giving you a little bit more interest in shape, adding some taper. I can even add these tapers in just different angles as well, and like have them like morphed and warped and stuff as well, so you can have double fun with the shape language. Like how far away is it from the bottleneck? Oh, I forgot to unselect those. You can also just drag on the faces as well. That works as too with using the tab button. If I do tab right here, then I can do. Woo! I did it. Go ahead and scale it up. Rotate a little bit of it. Make it a little bit askew. Do a little bit of that kind of rotation as well. I kind of want it to be a little bit more wobbly. So like this, and then do a little bit of this turn action. That. These don't matter as much since they're kind of hiding under this, but they could still show up a little bit better than that. So I'll go ahead and do this, and maybe these go more this way. Okay, tab. Let's go and do this one. Okay, just doing my cut in the bottleneck. Then I'm gonna go on this scale. Can go while I'm on this mode, I can just go ahead and warp it. Go on face mode, tab, scale it up, taper it in. Solid, 2 more to go. Almost did it. I've almost done did it. Woo wee. It's almost done did. Alright, go ahead and do my multi-cut tool, Alright, and then go into my vert mode, scale it up, face mode, tab, select face, scale it down, go ahead and do a little rotate, vertex mode, vertex, go ahead and rotate it, there we are, it's done did rotated. There we go. Alright. Now I can go ahead and scale this one up. This one, last one. Scale it up, twist it, turn it, make it askew. Oh, it's clipping into that. Don't want that. I want not that. Let's go ahead and scale it, rotate it. Bring it askew. Face mode, tab. Oh, I must be grabbing some other faces. Yes, I am. Untab that. Cool. Oh, I'm clipping into that one. Vertice mode. Pop. Doot. Bring it down. Scale it in. Bring it down. Make sure it's not clipped to nothing. And it ain't. Cool. Alright, that already brings a lot more flair to this banjo. I'm actually going to have... I'm really liking how they kind of like are made to be wider. Like this. It kind of like... tapers from itself, like it's kind of like splayed out like this. I like that feel, so I'm going to try to keep that feel as much as possible without looking too standard. They're kind of like, yeah, like they're kind of like bent nails in a way. So, all right. So now I got that. My real banjo is right here. It's my real banjo. So you have this line, like this clip pick thing, whatever it is, here. I actually don't really know a whole lot of what I want to do with something like this. However, I can give it some more fun, I guess, right? So I can bring this up, get it out of that, so I can start playing with it better. So this I can scale out, just give it a little bit of shape language, some fun, some visual interest, right? All right, you want to see the bottom, so I deleted all the faces from the bottom. All right, so that already looks way better, and then I can go ahead and do something like this, where I can make this edge, and then kind of do that. Just add a little bit more fun shape language. Then when I push it in, I'm gonna make sure you can see that this bottom clipped up. So it's like this. You just want to see. I want to see all that shape language. So I'm actually gonna flatten this. Flatten. I'm gonna go ahead and bring these forward. Bucky, by the way, was already had his voice lines done. I'm super stoked. We have this guy named Eli Harris, work on Bucky's voice lines, and he was phenomenal. I got it already finished and basically ready to go for the game. I am very, very happy with the results. So, looking forward to implementing his voice lines in game for this character. So, Banjo, where did you come from? Where did you go? I think I want to add one more edge loop here. Go ahead and taper this in. Yeah. Not that much. Maybe just in this way, not skinify it. Well, something like this. Just give it a little more curve. A little more finesse. A little more other dictionary words that I can't think of right now. All right, I want to do the same treatment that I did with that front pick piece with this pick piece. So on this one, I'm actually going to just bring up this edge right here and then flare that in. Doop. Push it forward. Doop. This edge. Doop. Okay, and then widen it. Push that one up. Oh, before I push it back in, I'm going to flatten this. Bam. Make that bigger for the base, and then plop it in there. And that's like this part right here. So actually I want to make this a little bit smaller, or at least more pushed in like this. Kind of facing the same angle. Tuck it. Paul tuck it. There we go. Cool. I'm going to delete all my type history. There we go. Alright, so it's already looking a lot more fun. I think I can probably blast this base a little bit more right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a split. And then grab these vertices, the base vertices. make sure that those faces are deleted. They're not. So I'm going to go ahead and go inside this mesh. Delete these faces you're never going to see. Boop, they're gone. Alright, so vertice mode. And I'm going to go ahead and scale it. Pretty much everything is stylized, looks beat up or scaled very oddly. To just add a lot more flow and shape language. Fun. So, let's see. One way to do this as well is just press B, and then this is a gradient. So I'm going to gradient these. So if I basically scale them, then you see how they all kind of scale together, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go. So yellow is the most, following into like this orange, red, and blue. Blue being nothing, basically. Cool. Alright, so yeah, skinny kind of guitar, banjo neck thing, and like big ending kind of thing. You just grab these verts right here, unpress B so that we only affect these, and then bring these down a little bit, push it in so it's kind of more of a fade gradient. Okay, I like that. I like that feel. Feels nice. If anything, I just make these this bigger, like that, like almost make it super goofy, which I actually like a lot. Okay. Modify center pivot. All right. Delete all by type history so I can get rid of any kind of history on these pieces. All right, I feel like this is looking a lot better than it was. And so one thing I can do is I can either smooth these pieces out so that I can make a high poly, like a fake high poly, or like a high poly in Maya, and bake that. Or I could throw it in ZBrush and make a little bit more gash work and kind of stuff like that. I'm probably going to have this this piece just floating here. I don't think I need to have anything else necessarily for it. Modify center pivot. I might have it even like fly a little bit more like that. You kind of need to just choose like what you want to show out the most. And right now it's going to be this, because when he's in his vehicle, all you're going to see really is his head and like the neck of the banjo, right? So it's not really as imperative for having like this showing out as much. But however, when you see this prompt, I do want it to show out really well. But like any stylized thing, you want to show out, make the biggest stuff what you're going to see the most, right? Like what's most important about this prompt. All right, so I am liking this. Now let's look at the shotgun again. Shotgun. The base is already here for sure. I can work on the high poly on ZBrush. Let's see. I think I might do that. So let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring in a ZBrush and have some fun with it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and export selection. Turn off all these. I don't need all these. Baka props. That's fine. Shotgun. Let's go ahead and import. Wiki props, shotgun. Okay. So here is my shotgun and ZBrush. Can turn on my polyF to see the line work. All right, and so kind of with this, I left out this thing. Hold on. Make sure I get everything in this. I'm actually gonna go ahead and bring everything in this. So like even even the banjo. So export selection. I'm gonna go ahead and make this props. Just so this obj. Okay. Import props. Quads. Alright, so cool. Now I got both my things in ZBrush. Alright, so one thing I can do is I can do my auto groups, but let's check out this. So first off, I can split it in different groups. So this one, for instance, now I can do my split groups. Always. So now the weapon is separate from the banjo. So now I can do the same thing here. Mask. Split groups. Group split. So now this bullet is on its own layer. Right? I'm gonna go ahead and mess with the shotgun first. I'm gonna do an auto group. So if I go into my poly groups and auto group. So now everything has its own group, and I can isolate really easily. All right. So one thing is the blackout's looking pretty clean. I want to unclean it, and one part I want to do especially is the wood pieces. So like this purple piece and this red piece right here. So what I can do is isolate this using the Control-Shift-Click, and I can do split hidden. Well, first off, I'm going to do the shotgun folder. So over here, new folder, and do this as my shotgun. And then I'll go into my banjo and make my banjo folder. This is only if you want to do more sculpturally high poly information. Okay, then I'll go into my prompt, which is just the shotgun bullet or casing, and I'll make the new folder and do shotgun casing. Okay, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn all that off and just have my shotgun right now ready. And so the reason why I did that is because I want to do group split, and because there's a lot of groups after I did my auto group, now I have all these that I can individually work on, which I really enjoy kind of doing it that way. These pieces, I actually want it to be part of the same, these two right here. Some things I want to merge back together, like these two. So these two are back to back, so I can go ahead and do merge done. There we go. Control W to make them the same. Alright, so this wood piece, it's looking fine. And I kind of want to affect these separately, so it's fine. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this piece. So first things first, I want to keep a lot of this shape happening. So one way to do that is to start doing my creases. So I'm going to solo this. Go to my Z modeler. Hover over this. Crease. Precision complete. I'm just creasing these edges right here. Alright, so now when I do my 1 second. So now my subdivide looks a lot more clean. All right. So yeah, I'm subdividing, and I feel like that's looking pretty solid. So this right here could be a decent high poly by itself. That being said, I can go ahead and do a run of smooth on here, on this bottom part, run a smooth. Right here. So this is that middle part right here. Okay, looks like I have some different pieces happening. So I need to actually worry about this right here real quick. Looks like I have an accidental crease right here, so I can just alt-click on that crease to uncrease it. I'm going to actually uncrease this bottom part too. See how that looks. There's a little bit of weirdness right here, mostly because of this crease probably. So I'm going to crease that. That's okay for now. I can deal with this in a second, like this. All right, and so there's one more problem happening right here. Let's see what's happening. So these are kept creased. Okay, so this is just not creased right here. So I can just do edge crease rather than edge complete, and that should just crease that. And I'm gonna uncrease these pieces just to see what it's like. All right, I like that better. All right, so yeah, this is where I want. So now I'm kind of running it smooth. And so that's looking pretty clean right here. It's looking kind of like what I wanted right here, this like kind of edge piece. But it has a little bit of this crease right in this zone. Let me draw size down a little bit. And all right, and so if you have this kind of issue, you can kind of do the H-polish, where you have these kind of like peaks right here. And if that doesn't work that well, then you can do the trim dynamic, and that's really strong. So this is going to be like a shotgun, right? But it's like has like this wood and metal right here, so it needs to actually feel that way. I'm actually going to turn this over to my my drawing tablet screen real quick, so that I can actually do this better without using my mouse. So there we go. I'm gonna bring it over. Alright, and I will stream for another 10 minutes before I head to bed, since we had the time changes, which can bring me very uncomfortable, well, not comfortable, just unfortunate. Time is just flying by. So, basically this is going to be our metal. And it's going to be our wood. The cool thing about what I did was that this is still off of a very low poly dig right here. And so what we can do is we can alt draw on some of these polygons using the Z modeler tool. So let's see right here. I'm drawing on these. I kind of want to move these verts right here, so I'm going to bring this down and move these verts in. There we go. All right, I'm going to draw on these faces too, using Z Modeler. See how they're different color now? All right, so now that's a different color, this green, using the Control W, I can now isolate just this one and start making some wood stuff with it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and make the 7 again. So now this is isolated. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make some wood grain. So let me bring this the concept over real quick. Bring my mic a little bit closer to my face so you guys can hear me still. My concept is right here, and here's my wood grain. On this the barrel part, and this is the handle part. Very kind of wispy, stylized wood grain. So for this one, I think I'm going to use the damp standard and start cutting in. If I have this available, I can just isolate it by just doing the masking tool as well. Another tool actually that I have is the cracked orbs, orb cracks right here, which I like a lot. That actually looks better. I'll do orb cracks, and then I can do the opposite. I think orb crack is actually looking pretty solid, so I'm going to keep orb cracks. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. It's very similar to the wand I was doing with Red Banana, but it's shotgun. And if I need to like taper it, like chop it a little bit more, then I can do the alternative. So instead of digging in, it's pulling up, right? I want some of the parts to pull up these edges. Okay. Make this a little smaller. Trying to light smooth. And so some of this I actually might not want to be symmetry based. Ultimately, I think most of the detail can be, and it's not going to be really noticed that much. But some of it I might not want to carry the same, because this is looking very obvious, especially right here. So I'm going to turn this off for some other stuff like the top parts. Right, like so. I want to have some wood grain like this, and then some going this way. This is all very random. Kind of interlacing with the sides and the top. It's a nice way to do it. Okay, and I might want to have this hole to actually be a metal. So what I can do is make this orb crack very small. We'll go turn my symmetry on. You might just want to like isolate the trim and make this a metal. And another way to do this is the topology tool, and I can go ahead and just draw on the free subdivisions right now. I'll just do a split actually, so I'll duplicate current. So I duplicated, and now I'm going to delete my lower so I can actually extract from this. So now I can do this. Just drawing on topology as if I was like retopologizing, I guess. And you can tell it's working if it does the orange. This isn't working because it has that extra vertice, so I'm trying to fix that. So as long as it turns orange in the space, then that means it works. I'm gonna go ahead and undo that one. See, that one's turning into a triangle, so I can go ahead and grab this edge and make that a full. There we go. And based off of your draw size, it's gonna depict your thickness. So if I do like big, then when I extract this, it's gonna be way tall. Make it small, then it's gonna be small. I'm still wanting to delete that edge, so I'm actually gonna alt drag on that and then make a new one. So I want it to be full. Alright, that one works nice. So, yes, it's kind of what I want, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this bigger. Split a mast. I'll turn off solo for now and then just move it into place. So now I can kind of just move this however I want it. And I'm going to do it inflate. Okay, so this is just like the trigger starting area, entrance piece thing, whatever you want to call it. And because I wanted to have a different material, I wanted to actually have it to be a different piece. And whenever you make this, especially with Symmetry, then it creates a crease. So I want to go ahead and do my Z modeler tool, and then make sure it's on the crease function, and then hold Alt, then complete, hold Alt, and click on this in this one to get rid of those creases. Alright, cool. So that's kind of what I want. So now I'm going to go back into the wood grain. It's kind of acting up because there's a double. So I'm going to get rid of that double. Making sure this one has the my polygroups. It does, my subdivisions, I mean. So now I can kind of cut into this a little better. Okay, let's go back into that orbs. It's orb cracks. And I'm gonna go for bigger. Right, bigger's better with stylized, like this kind of thing. So part of it again is, so yeah, part of it is with symmetry, and part of it's not. So I don't want to have so much symmetry on the tops and bottoms, but I don't mind about the sides, just to save time. I don't even like that kind of double thing right there, but it's not the worst thing. Okay. So I'll add like this instead, like a curl right here, a curl that kind of comes into this part right here. All right. Cool. So that's kind of what I want for this piece. For this trigger piece, I don't know why this other one was hiding, or is hiding, but let's bring that back up. So this trigger piece, subdivide it, and I can add a little bit of like fun for the scratches, so I can do like, subdivide some more, so add some scratches. And see, if they're too small, there's not really a point of doing this high poly sculpting way. You can just do it in Substance Painter. So only like the meta stuff, the big stuff, that's going to be changing silhouette or really just wants to be super unique and feels like it's like more natural. Otherwise, just do it in texture. So if I make this nice gash here, I'm going to do it in sculpt, but ultimately you can do a lot of things just in texture. You like don't just try to optimize your time. Okay, so all I'm really doing is I'm using my Maya block out, and I'm doing my subdivisions by doing the Control D a couple times, and that makes my high poly right here, as you can see, and then I'm just carving into it. And I don't care if like one of these things is a million polygons; it doesn't bother me. Right? You don't want to be, you want it to look pixelated. Alright, so now I can run like a little bit of H polish or trim dynamic to start kind of cutting in some flats, like that. Another good one that I have, which I got was, where is it? And it was really good. Oh yeah, Orb Flatten. Orb Flatten Edge is very much like trim dynamic. Oh no, okay, the strength is already up. This really kind of creates that planar feel right here. I think it looks really good for like beat up metal. Kind of bash metal like that. Which makes sense for this piece. I'm going to go ahead and isolate this. So I'm going to go ahead and solo just for a second. Make this bigger for some a little more meta stuff. We don't want to waste any time, right? Let's just get this done. So just kind of adding these orb edges, just making it planar. Other side as well. Don't forget that side. You can do symmetry if you want. I don't want to. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Thanks for jumping in. I'm just making a shotgun at the moment. Okay, that looks like a pretty nice hammered detail gun type thing with some nice chop in there for some nice fun stylized feel. Cool, I like that. Alright, so basically we can do the same thing with other pieces, like this metal piece right here. I can just do the opposite by reverse masking, control click, and I can just do the same thing, little orb, flatten with this. When I do this kind of thing in Sculpt, I think it's a lot more fun to do in sculpted texture. But a lot of things you can do in texture, so don't get it twisted. It's definitely whatever you like better, whatever pipeline you like better is the way you should do it. But I do think that texture has a lot more application than people think it does. I could totally run like a filter or whatever through this and totally do everything I'm doing right now with the texture. So yeah, see that nice separation between the wood and church and state? Wood and metal. That's what I meant. So I can now do a nice little dam standard. Dam standard. There we go. And then just do some fun chops. You know, if you want to make it gashy, then make it gashy. I don't want to make it that gashy. I actually like the cracked orbs. It's very similar to dam standard. What it can do is just add some very meta cracks. Or gashes, I should say. Like it's been actually used and worn on and stuff. And so this one I even have like the wood, I have like the grain, but it's clean still, so I can actually do some chop cracks through the grain, make sure it's going against the grain so it like feels like it's something different. And I actually might do dam standard for this one so it looks like it's a different kind of cut. Like this. I think that's not supposed to be there kind of thing. And so now I can do the alternate by doing the like kind of puckers up and stuff. So kind of like do the chop in and then hold Alt to do on the edges. So it's adding that kind of pucker gash feel. And I can kind of cut back into that to push the wood grain a little bit more. So now it's still kind of it has the wood grain without it like puckering around those wood grain pieces. Yeah, that's a solid, not supposed to be there gash and a wood grain. Just a few other ones, just kind of scattered on here. Make them a little bit more obvious because the normal map might be a little bit less. So you might want to make them a little bit more obvious so it'll bake well. And then I want to do a trim dynamic on some of this edge work right here. I'm gonna go ahead and simplify it one more time. 6 million polygons. I'm not too worried. It's fine. It's fine. This is kind of how I want to do the truck too. Very similar pipeline. Block it out of Maya, throw it into ZBrush, add some damage, bake it, UV it, whatever. Apologize. All the good stuff. All right, so now I'm gonna actually planar some of these pieces, so they're not so samey, right? Like it's looking too samey. So I'm actually gonna just do a little bit of fun, not too diggy, just a little bit of fun stuff all on these edges, so it looks like it's been used and worn and not so clean, right? You'll want too clean with stylized, especially around these edges. So what makes stylized a lot of times is that it has these over-the-top caricaturized, beat-up sections that are obviously not what you'd see in real life, but you see something like that in real life as far as like the idea of it being beat up in certain zones. So really emphasize the spots you want to be seen, like the big part of the end of the barrel, as this is a gun, you want that to be able to be apparent, and then add caricaturized damage. That is stylized in a nutshell, with gradient colors, of course, when you're doing texture. See, now there's adding a little bit more interest on that wood grain. It's not so straightforward and clean. This is adding some planers, adding some plane changes on these cracks. Right, that's what makes it more fun. Gonna add like some more that taper, the 45 on this edge. I don't want it too clean, but I do want it to be apparent that that's supposed to be like the cap. Okay, can add a little bit more beat up metal feel here. Go ahead and isolate just that, and then add a little bit of stuff going on in this one too, this area. It's creased, so it's gonna have some pushback because it's creased. Just try your best. Work around the crease, and you don't have to completely damage your whole gun thing. Just try to work the best way you can with it. Go ahead and chop this down. I don't want that hard crease there. This is really feeling like some hammered metal now, using this trim dynamic feel. It's just not such a complex piece either, so it's not as hard as people think it's going to be. Alright, so like really just some soft strokes, digging in a little bit here and there. Alright. I kind of want to make this a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Especially right there where it meets this piece. I'm going to bring up my draw size so it's not so warpy. Oh, I need to do my symmetry on this before I make that happen. Okay, symmetry. Make sure I'm pulling both sides to the bottom. Something like that. That's what I'm going for. Welcome to the stream. I'm making a shotgun, stylized shotgun. Okay. Here we go. Let's add a nice little taper on this too. Yeah, I'm liking that. Kind of want to have this be tapered in this way on the top. Kind of want to have it bowed on the top, tapered on the bottom like that. Just kind of matches his flow a little better. There we go. Alright, trigger can be very, very easy. I'll have to just do some subdivisions. I can do a quick solo on this, and then run like a trim dynamic on this. You're never going to see this that close up, so don't waste your time on this. Literally just something very quick. It's a little bit of beat up on those edges. Using trim dynamic would be just fine. I'm going to chop this a little bit at the bottom so it's not so sharp. There we go. Done. Nothing more. Okay, this part. Go ahead and do some more subdivisions for this. Bring it out a little bit to match that cut. Solo it. Same kind of thing. Very simple, very quick. Oop, not too deep. So I'm going to do maybe one more subdivision. Or a quick smooth. So you don't want to push it in too harsh, because then it'll not see, you won't be able to see this piece at all. So I'm doing some of it in Symmetry, and then the rest of it I'm just going to turn off Symmetry and add a little bit of more variation. So that just makes it happen a little faster. So now I'm adding some a little bit wobbly variation. Alright, and that's pretty close to being done. Alright, I'm going to call that done. Okay, if it's too pushed in, then pull it out a little bit. Alright, I like it. Dunzo. Okay, bottom cap, same deal. It's very easy. Metal, do hammered. Wood, do cracks, right? And hammered with a little bit of like slicing is fine too, right? So dividing a couple times, well, not that much. Go ahead and solo it. Trim dynamic. Active symmetry first. Really kind of just make it quick for yourself. Right. If you haven't already, please sub if you want to see more streams or more tutorials on game art stuff. We'll also be posting some more animation videos here in a little bit. But yeah, for right now, I'm just doing some game art props and characters stuff. Appreciate y'all watching. Alright, turn on symmetry. A little bit of fun. Asymmetric feel. There we go, done. Okay, I'm gonna actually make this bottom part a little more flat so it doesn't feel like it's a circle or something. I'm gonna put one little gash in it, just to add a little bit more oomph to this piece. So B, warp cracks, nice little gash in there. The alternative with the alt. And then if it puckers too much like that, then you can just do the H polish and just pucker that down, right? You can just iron it out essentially. Or you can trim dynamic might actually look a little bit better. That way it's not too puckered. It still has a nice slice in it. All right. This part's also wood. This is also the wood grain piece. Alright, and so I don't want it to smooth that harshly. One way to avoid that, go to my geometry, turn off the SMT, subdivide it one time. So if you're poly, I subdivide it one time with smooth off. Now I turn it smooth on, and now it'll actually keep it shaped a little better. So I'm actually going to, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and crease to the back right here. So I'm going to do crease, complete, crease complete. I'll just do edge for now. So active symmetry. So I can see this. Bam. Alright, so now that's creased. Now when I do my subdivisions, that will stay there, right? So like, see now it's actually staying with these pen pieces. That's what I want. So I'm gonna go make this taller because it's like a little bit more heavy right here where the hand's supposed to be. It's supposed to gonna be. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and plane out the top. So it lets the barrels rest on it. So I can use the clip curve tool by holding Control Shift and go ahead and clip curve the top like that, so it's nice and planed. Bring it back up. Bamzo. I hate that. I'm gonna turn off symmetry. There we go. Widget's not the best thing with using symmetry. Alright. For the barrels, I can honestly just do my subdivisions after I crease the ends, and that's my high poly, right? I can add a little bit of planar stuff and a little bit of beat up if I want to. Ultimately, that's how I do my high poly for the barrels. So yeah, for this second wood grain piece, I did the same thing as my first wood grain piece, right? So I need to up it to maybe 1,000,000-ish polygons. Now I can isolate it, and I'm going to go ahead and keep my symmetry going and turn on my orb again. Cracked orbs. Cracked orbs. Okay. So yeah, this is very similar to how I did Revenue's Wand, but a shotgun. Turn off symmetry for this part. It's the bottom. I don't want it to feel so obviously symmetrized and stuff like that, so just turn that off. Okay, anyone who just joined, I'm basically just making the shotgun. And I'm making currently the wood grain on the bottom part of the shotgun. Stylized wood grain, obviously. not your real wood grain. So yeah, actually adding these little pieces in here like this really sell wood grain a little bit better. Just having some flow marks basically. Flow marks. It's a fun term that I'm getting, a coin. My own coined term. Let's add some flow marks in the top one too. Where I did the wood grain before. I think I was just missing something, and I think this is a good additive. It's like a mix between cuts and flows, which I like a lot. Add some stuff next to this trigger. I like that. All right. Cool. Add like some little more things happening here. Cool. Alright, and it's getting pretty late, so I think I'm going to call it a night, but I basically can finish this in the next episode. But essentially, yeah, the metal, the wood grain, just adding gashes, so I'm adding gashes with the orb cracks, adding the wood grain on the orb cracks, and damp standard, I'm making it look like it's bashed metal and kind of adding variations in the wood using the trim dynamic tool. And I used a little bit of that bought brush, which is the Orb Flatten, which is kind of nice. But ultimately, that's kind of how I'm doing it. So just a little bit more of a rundown. This is still, this wood grain piece on the bottom of this barrel is 9 subdivisions up. This is my first subdivision. Very, very, very simple, right? And so I'm literally just making it, subdividing it, adding some creases, and adding this detail. And yeah, all I have left to do is the barrels, these knob pieces, this I guess hinge piece thing, and the sight. All right, thanks for watching, y'all. Have a good night.